Okay, so today's topic was about making a budget, and I don't have much material here again. It's just an exercise which has some details on what kind of costs you should be adding to the budget. I think nobody has done a budget yet, real written budget, except maybe these guys who came here and needed to do some counting of what kind of lifestyle you can continue here. Right. Okay, so budget is actually just an estimate of how the money flows on the project. And when we are talking about a product development project, then money is going, yeah, it's burning. You're burning money when you are doing any project, even well, I will leave that one here. This can go. Even if you are making a educational project, somebody's paying for that. Somebody's paying these buildings, heating, electricity, your professor's salary. Okay, so nothing is free. I'm a professional teacher. I teach only for money. That's the only reason to teach. I can test it by asking my employer to cut payments to my account. I would immediately stop teaching. Okay, so the money makes the world go around. Just the fact. But anyways, on the project, it's always an investment. When you start a project. So that's the total money flow or cumulative sum of money, meaning that this is the deficit and this is positive. So on a project development, you are trying to get at some point to cross the zero, which means that anything after that would be profit from this profit from this device or service or whatever you are doing. Okay, it means that on the beginning of project you start burning money. At some point, this is the point where the project is actually almost at the final stage, meaning that there will be some money flow to the company, meaning that you have released the product and somebody starts buying it. Money starts basically flowing in, and at some point you hit the zero, and you can say, actually, you can breathe a little bit since at least you broke even with your product. By the way, most of the startup companies stop here. Yeah, they go bankrupt since they don't have enough of money flow, and this deficit is way too much for the investors to continue putting money. Okay, but anyways, so then you start having money, but at some point the product will be end of the life, which means that the product cost actually for the company is getting, again, advertisement cost and also the sales force cost. You may have stock inventory, plenty of devices made already, but nobody is buying those anymore. So it means that at some point you start losing money, meaning that you basically, that's the company's, the bean counter should be good at that one, to say when to stop the product totally. discontinue the product. So that is the reason why these different versions of for example, the software. Sometimes the Microsoft just says that we are not supporting that version anymore. Yeah, that's it. End of the life for that product. Okay, so this is the big picture of the money. So you are here on the very beginning of the project. All right, so this was the basically point where the sales start. And that's the end of life, EOL, end of lifetime. Good. So that's the big picture of the money flow for the project. But now, basically, you need to somehow convince the investors. For the project, you always have some investors. For example, here you have the university is the investor, your professor. Although you also, the professor has given you the topic probably. But anyways, the professor had to do the work for you. So convince some other people in here that, okay, this project is worth of doing. You have the president who is deciding of everything. He's in charge of everything. So it might be even him who is deciding if that project is ongoing or not. Okay. So, but anyway, somehow you need to do the estimate about that cost here. Or, well, project may actually still be going on this one. So basically, when the sales start, nowadays it does not mean that the project ends here. It just means that some other phase, basically a tweaking phase, starts. The old-fashioned way, you design the product and then just start selling it. Currently, you design a product, start selling prototypes. People are giving feedback, and then you tweak it. So basically, if it's a kind of co-design project, meaning that you basically do the designing of the final product with the customers. They might not know it, but for example, Microsoft does it. It sells products which are not finished yet. Then they get the feedback, and then they basically tweak it so it start at some point it starts working, say, at tolerable level. Okay, but anyway, so you need to make estimate of how much is that. What is the project cost? So what is the product development cost for the whole thing? Okay, just mark it like that. Maybe co-design here. Good. So how to do it? There are basically different kind of costs, and let's see. And those are always the what is that called? I think it's called the I don't know it in English. Tilikartta. Tilikartta, what is it in English or Japanese? No, it's more than salary. It's their costs map or cost. Yeah, no, okay. I have a translator. Let me find you a English word. I will find something Japanese, and then you can laugh since it's not even close. Okay, there we go. Tilikartta. Tilikartta. Ah, yeah. Kanjo ko kamo ku hyo. Does it say anything to you? So it's basically financial map of the. So basically, it's basically just a map of different kind of money flows. So basically, usually it has these numbers, four-digit numbers. Say 1,000 is the say salaries or wages, or actually it's the kind of work load, which has say subdivision to 1,100 would be the salaries. Say 1,200 is the fringe benefits, meaning well coffee. If the employer actually gives you free coffee and that kind of things, or fringe benefit can also be a mobile phone that company pays, that kind of stuff. Then employee, this compulsory employee payments. These are usually kind of tax that employer pays. You are paying the income tax from the salary what you are getting, but there are also some social security and such kind of payments with this employer pays. Then say 2,000 could be the say materials, 3,000 in materials, meaning software and such kind of thing, and so on. And each of these may have subchapters. So this basically is given by the company that you are working. If you are making your own company as a startup, you need to have a good accountant who helps you to make this kind of balanced scorecard. Maybe. it's actually somehow it just popped in my mind. Balanced scorecard. No, it's not. It's balanced something. Okay. Anyways, so that kind of costs. And also, okay, then you need to also have the something like, for example, 404, something for the income. It's not just the cost that is important. For here, you also should be able to estimate if there are some, say, pre-sales or something like that happening during the project. So you have a product prototype that you can make a customer promise and give it a price, and then you start pre-sales before it's ready. Okay. Sales account. And of course, marketing costs and that kind of stuff. Marketing stuff like that. Dissemination, all sorts of stuff. So basically, well, that's more or less. In parentheses, those numbers, the bean counters are good on those numbers, giving the code, but you should be able to break down to a project to different costs and also different incomes, if there are any income. So basically, then after you have done the calculations, after you have done some calculations, so this all here is, let's see, for example, if you have minus 1,000 units, any monetary units, in yen it would be much, wouldn't be too much, or 10,000 euro. Fringe benefits, those are on the debit side. Compulsory payments, maybe like that. No. Sales would be then pre-sales, and then whatever comes here is the big sum of money that you are asking either the company you are working, or if you are making your own the startup company, you need to cover that from the investors or go to bank, but then you must have something for the bank. You must have some of these, for example, the house books or something like that you can give it to as a kind of, well, since the bank doesn't give you the money free, it must guarantee that they get their share. That's why you should actually, instead of doing your own startup, do your own bank. All right, good. So that's how it works. Let me see if I can actually find Metropolia, the account map, just for fun, but it's in Finnish, of course. Well, we can translate it in the Google Translator. Okay, that'll work. Do I have internet? Yes, I do. I can't see that far. Sorry, I take this one so that I can see it. Financial and administration. Not quality. Financials. Budgeting. Accounting instructions, is that one? Financials, cards of accounts, accounting instructions, in Finnish, cost centers, in Finnish. Okay, that's, I think that's the as close as it. Okay. So that's the financial chart, account chart of Metropolia. What does it say? How can I actually? No. How? Oh, here, which view? There. I need binoculars. Where's the zoom here? All right. I can't see that far. Okay, 200%. There. 200%. There we go. Different items. Okay, these are the kulutilit. That's the expenses. Sorry about that, the language. Well, we'll learn also Finnish here. All right. So we have account number for materials and, well, stuff. So basically, almost anything that we are using as a material, including, well, the pens and such kind of things, are that. Okay, let's see. Can I translate that one? Should it's it would be so much easier if we had this one already translated, but okay. And then there are some matter that we actually buy from other EU countries. That's EU-hanking, that's European Union. Then we have different accounts under that for e-material, meaning the e-books, electronic books, real books. These are the magazines, notes, or recordings. Why we have those differently? Because they have different value-added tax. Then if we buy these teaching services, meaning we are buying for example, some course from some other university or private company as a package, as a service. And there are also some other stuff. Then there are these other costs like voluntary, the personnel cost. That is for the there's plenty of different kind of things. So it's a very detailed map on, but you don't need to go into that detail. But just as an example, that's what is ahead of you when you will be managing your first project. You need to figure out first what kind of the account map that company has, and then try to find, okay, we have this software we need to buy, where does it go on this map? But for this exercise, you don't need to worry about those. Let me close that one. It's confusing. At least it's all, every time I have to use that Metropolia, the account map, I get confused. It's way too complicated and not too well the instructed how to use them. Okay. Anyways, so this exercise, it will be more, I would guess the best way to do it would be to open a spreadsheet and start, since it does the calculus for you. And then start thinking of what kind of course there could be in your project if it was you who was managing it. Okay, don't think that now that, okay, this is anything to do with the reality, but you need to kind of think of that. So think of it as an exercise that you need funding for your project idea. You need to convince your boss, investors, bank, whoever. You need to convince that the cost will be actually somehow estimated, that basically you know how much you are investing. Nobody's in opening an account and say, okay, here's you can use this account Just make a really nice product. No, it doesn't happen. Unlimited budget does not exist. Actually, it does, but you shouldn't be working for military. Military has unlimited budget, nearly unlimited budget, especially the United States military. They have done really strange things. They built a nuclear reactor operated boat just to power up a laser to shoot down airplanes. And what it actually did, it shoot basically up, but then there's a thermal lens in it came down next to it. So it didn't quite work. Yeah, 10 billion. So that's unlimited budget, and crazy things happen there. You should really avoid of working for military, especially the foreign military. Okay, but anyways, that was a political statement. Sorry about that. But anyways, now your task for today is start to break down your schedule. You know from the schedule what you should be actually doing, or timetable, project timetable. This, if you did it right, you should have the estimate of the how many hours you need to work there. Find a good number to turn that one into money. Meaning that think of what is your target salary range on a company. Calculate the salary what you want. Use that as the salary on your calculations. In addition to the salary what you are getting, okay, what kind of fringe benefits you want? You want a car? Yeah, you don't want a car. At least mobile phone, that's a fringe benefit. The working computer is not a fringe benefit. It's a working tool. But yes, you need a computer. Although if you are using that computer, say 2 years, and this is a 1-year project, you should actually take half of the price of that computer down to this project. So cut those or calculate like that. And these compulsory employer payments, the employee payments in Finland, they add up something like 15 to 20% of the salary costs directly. In Metropolia, we calculated, say, way too cheap, since basically it should also include the, usage of the premises. We have basically 23% of the extra cost in top of the salary costs. Okay. Let me put here rent of the office, what you are using. Well, rent. That's actually quite hard to find out, except, okay, or you can Google somehow a reasonable cost for the office space if you needed an office. That should be also included. That's part of the total cost of the project. Okay, materials like parts, components, what you buy for this project. Robot project, of course, you have these motors, wheels, the wheels, the chassis, the batteries, all the parts. parts. And spare parts. Software. Okay, again, software usually they are licensed by annual basis if that is something special onto the software, or say there are also these one-time licenses, or well, yeah, software. How much that software is. You can actually also calculate, for example, the computer plus the software as a package. As long as you have, say, reasonable numbers there and reasonable costs. No, one is missing. Coffee. In Finland, that's a lot. Okay. So, yeah. So basically, I'll go back to your the project. This Gantt chart estimate the working time, and actually it also should have some sort of hint of what kind of tasks there are, also what kind of tools and stuff you need there. Okay. One more thing here. Okay, travel costs. You have travel costs. It's this conference. Conference also may have some the attendance fees and such kind of things. Those are part of this budget. And don't be surprised, this will be a big number. Education is free only for the students, but it's very expensive. That's investment of your government to your education. Okay, good. All right, so start working. Make your first budget. I will be here until 4:30 again, and I will let you go when I believe your budget was a big enough number and broken down into small enough parts. Any questions? So why? Okay, one more thing actually. Why you are doing this? Because you will be doing this kind of budgets in your work, no doubt about it. Unless you will be staying on, say, on the floor level and do some things that your boss is just asking you to do for very low salary. So how to get better salary? You get more challenging jobs with more responsibility. That means project management. Okay, good. Start working.